Hi there, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be making a very simple card. I'm going to be using my cracked pistachio distress ink, and I'm going to be applying it right to the front of my card base. Now I'm just using some 80-pound white cardstock, and I'm applying my cracked pistachio in a very light hand. I don't want a very heavy saturation of this color. The whole card is going to have a very light look to it at the end, so I didn't want too much of an overwhelming color on the cardstock base. So I'm just applying it in a circular motion, trying to be careful not to leave any dark streaks or anything. I just want it to have a very light blended look. Now I'm reaching for a die cut that I used my Cricut to cut. It's sort of like a vine type frame that I'm going to be using on the front, and I just want to place that over my color to make sure that I have enough color and that I'll have a little bit of color peeking through the outsides of the frame. So I decided I needed just a little bit more, so I'm applying a little bit more of my cracked pistachio. And I decided I was happy with that. So now I'm taking my frame and a piece of vellum, and I'm putting the vellum on top of my frame so I can see from the back side where I want to trace my circle. I want the vellum to be just big enough to cover the back side of this frame, but I don't want any overhanging. So I'm taking a pencil and just tracing a light circle so I know where I need to cut. So I'm just taking my scissors and cutting out my circle. I'm trying to stay as close to the pencil line as I can. And now I want to adhere it to the back of my frame. So I'm taking my Aleene's Tack It Over and Over glue. This is actually a repositional glue. It dries clear and it stays tacky when it's dry, so you can actually remove embellishments and move them around a few times. So I really like this glue. It's pretty versatile. I'm not planning on moving around this vellum, but it works pretty good when you for projects like this, even if you don't want to reposition it. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't have too much glue on there. I don't want it to smear through the vellum. So I was pretty happy with that, so I'm going to put that aside and let it dry a little bit as I move on to the next steps. Now I'm reaching for a baby wipe just to clean up my workspace. And here I'm bringing in my Sizzix because I'm going to be die cutting the sentiment for the front of my card. So this is a piece of white cardstock that I used my Glimmer Mists to color, and I'm going to be showing you here the colors I used. First of all, here is Wedding Pink. It's a really nice light pink with a lot of shimmer in it, so I put some of that down. And I'm also using my Mint Julep. So when I was shopping for my Glimmer Mists, I picked Mint Julep because I thought it went really well with the cracked pistachio. I'm also going to be using some of this chalkboard mist in chalk white, and I just added a few little splatters to the cardstock colored cardstock there. And now I'm taking my prayers stamp and die set, and I'm just going to be die cutting the word prayers out of my Glimmer Mist paper. So now I have my prayers sentiment cut, and I just want to pop it out of the die right there. And you can see how shimmery it is from those glimmer mists. I just love the finished look that it gave. So now I'm going to be taking my Aleene's glue and putting some of that on the back of this die cut again. I try not to get too much glue because I don't want it to smush out when I put it down, so I'm just putting a very tiny bit amount on the back of this die cut. Wiping up my workspace again with my baby wipe. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue it to the front of my vellum frame. Trying to make sure it's adhered down well without smearing too much of the glue. And now for the back, I'm going to be putting on some tiny foam adhesives. I'm going to try to hide them behind a lot of these leaves. So a few of them you'll see me cut in half to make them even smaller. And once I have all my foam adhesive on, I'm just going to put it down on the front of my card right over where I applied some distress ink. And you can see how quickly this card came together, so I really liked the design and I went ahead and made several of them. I think it would be really nice to make a set of these and maybe give them as a gift or just keep them on hand for when you need them. Just pulling off the plastic sheets on the back of the foam adhesive so I can put it down. And then I'm just gently adhering it to the front. And that concludes the card. You can see how simple and how easy it was to come together. And there's both of them. The first one I made, I actually rounded the corners, and I did that with a second one as well. I just forgot to get it on camera. So that's it, and thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.